Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel World Conflict Monitor. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we are going to discuss one of the most shocking and strategically significant events in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, the explosive drone attack carried out by Ukraine that destroyed a Russian oil refinery. This attack has not only captured the world's attention, but also raised critical questions about modern warfare, the role of technology, and the shifting balance of power in this war. Let's break this down into every possible dimension so that you fully understand the exterior, the interior, the performance, the safety implications, the unique aspects of this attack, the cost and economic impact, and ultimately a conclusion on what this means for the war and the wider world. When we talk about the exterior in this context, we are referring to the physical site of the attack itself. Russian oil refineries are massive industrial complexes built to refine crude oil into usable products such as gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. They are considered high-value targets because they are essential for Russia's economy and military logistics. The exterior of this particular refinery before the attack was typical large storage tanks, pipelines, distillation towers, and vast open areas with flammable material everywhere. After the Ukrainian drones hit the site, the exterior transformed into a scene of fire, smoke, and destruction. Flames reached several meters high, storage tanks were punctured and set ablaze, and thick black smoke covered the sky. The world saw videos and satellite images showing just how devastating the aftermath was. The exterior appearance told a story of vulnerability despite Russia's claims of strong air defense systems. Now, if we look deeper into the interior dimension, this is where things get more complex and more significant. Inside an oil refinery, there is a delicate system of pipes, valves, pumps, and control rooms. These interiors are not just industrial, they are the heart of Russia's fuel supply chain. By targeting the interior of such facilities, Ukraine is not just causing visible damage, but crippling the production capacity that fuels both Russia's economy and its war machine. The Ukrainian drones were able to penetrate through the defenses and hit critical parts of the interior, leading to chain reactions of explosions and uncontrollable fires. The scale of interior damage meant not only days or weeks of repairs, but potentially months of downtime. This interior attack strategy demonstrates Ukraine's growing intelligence and precision capability. For Ukraine, the interior represents not only the physical infrastructure but also Russia's internal stability and vulnerability. When we consider performance, we must evaluate how effectively Ukraine's drones carried out this mission. The performance was strikingly effective. These drones managed to travel deep into Russian territory, bypassing radar systems, and hit a high-value target with precision. Performance in military terms often comes down to cost versus effect. A drone that costs a few tens of thousands of dollars being able to destroy infrastructure worth billions is a performance ratio that changes the rules of war. Ukraine's performance with this strike shows innovation, adaptability, and asymmetric warfare strategy at its peak. Russia spends huge amounts on missiles and air defense systems, yet low-cost drones can still slip through and inflict severe damage. Performance here is also psychological, showing both Russia and the world that distance and defenses are no longer barriers to Ukraine's striking capability. Now let's move into the safety features aspect, which might sound unusual in the context of warfare, but it is important. Safety features here can be considered from multiple perspectives: the safety of the drones themselves, the safety of Ukrainian forces, and the lack of safety for Russian infrastructure. Drones allow Ukraine to strike without risking pilots or large aircraft. This is a safety feature for the attacker, minimizing their losses while maximizing damage. From the Russian side, the lack of safety measures at the refinery is exposed. Despite being such a critical facility, the refinery did not have adequate defenses against drones. Safety systems within oil refineries, such as fire suppression and emergency shutdowns, were overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the explosions. So, the safety aspect of this attack highlights both Ukraine's advantage in unmanned warfare and Russia's failure to protect vital infrastructure. The unique selling points of this attack are multiple and significant. Firstly, it demonstrates Ukraine's growing capability to innovate under pressure. Secondly, it shows the effectiveness of asymmetric warfare, using smaller, cheaper, smarter weapons against a larger, heavily resourced adversary. Thirdly, it disrupts not just a military target, but Russia's economy, as oil exports and refinery operations are a lifeline for funding the war. Fourthly, it sends a message to other nations watching this conflict that traditional military strength can be challenged by new technologies and strategies. This unique selling point of drones being able to shift the balance of war is exactly what makes this event historic. When we evaluate the price, it becomes even more revealing. The cost of building and maintaining an oil refinery runs into billions of dollars. The cost of repairing the damage caused by this drone strike is also massive. On the other hand, the cost of the drones used by Ukraine is relatively low. Reports suggest many Ukrainian drones cost between $20,000 and $50,000 each, sometimes even less when locally made. So the price equation is heavily in Ukraine's favor. They can spend a fraction of Russia's defense spending and still inflict billions in damages. This cost imbalance is one of the most dangerous dynamics for Russia moving forward, because it cannot spend its way out of this vulnerability. Finally, let us come to the conclusion. What does this all mean? The Ukrainian drone strike on the Russian oil refinery is more than just an isolated incident. It is a turning point in how modern wars are fought. It shows that critical infrastructure, no matter how deep inside a country, is no longer safe. It proves that smaller nations with determination and technological innovation can challenge bigger powers. It underlines the weakness in Russia's defensive strategy and exposes cracks in its economic and logistical backbone. For Ukraine, it is a powerful demonstration of resilience and strategic thinking. For Russia, it is a wake-up call that the war is not just about tanks and missiles, but about innovation, cost-effectiveness, and psychological impact. For the world, it is a sign of the future of warfare, where drones, artificial intelligence, and precision strikes redefine the battlefield. The conclusion is clear. Ukraine's strike was not just about destroying a refinery, it was about reshaping the narrative of the war. This attack will be studied by military strategists, economists, and political analysts for years to come. The exterior destruction shows Russia's vulnerability. The interior damage shows the depth of Ukraine's precision. The performance shows the efficiency of drones. The safety features highlight the advantages of unmanned warfare. The unique selling points display Ukraine's adaptability. The price comparison shows the imbalance of cost-effectiveness, and the conclusion shows a new direction in warfare. The war is far from over, but with every strike like this, Ukraine is not just fighting back, it is sending a message to the entire world about courage, innovation, and the power of determination.